Our team decided to create a presentation to inform employees about the perils of sexual harassment, as well as educate employees about techniques for prevention. The objectives of this video are to be able to identify what sexual harassment is, recognize behaviors that are considered sexual harassment, what to do when harassment occurs, how to prevent sexual harassment from occurring, identify retaliation and provide examples, and to understand the consequences of sexual harassment. Our training purpose. Studies have shown that on average 25 to 85% of women have experienced sexual harassment in a workplace environment. When speaking up and reaching out, a total of 75% experienced retaliation. The number of women sexually harassed increases when specific examples of harassment were defined more in depth. Sexual harassment can cost a company millions of dollars. This is how we use the ADDIE model to develop our training. Analysis. Sexual harassment is a type of sexual discrimination that violates the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Victims of sexual harassment are not limited to only one type of gender. The harasser does not need to be the opposite gender of the victim. The harasser can be their supervisor, a coworker, or a non-employee. Harassment does not need to be the person harassed, but could be anyone who is affected by it. Development. With conducting research, we were able to see how common and harmful sexual harassment is in all types of workplace environments. This is what led us to conduct a training to analyze what sexual harassment is and why it needs to be stopped. Although sexual harassment may seem like it is mainly targeted towards women, a survey from the EEOC reported 16.1% of sexual harassment cases were filed by men. Design. When designing this training, we wanted something that was going to be gender neutral to make a difference in the workplace. Implement. Throughout this presentation, we'll be going more in depth of what sexual harassment is, why we need to make a change, and how to prevent it. Evaluation. Before completing the training, we will administer a survey to assess how knowledgeable observers were before they viewed this content. So what is sexual harassment? According to the EEOC, sexual harassment is unwarranted sexual propositions and seeking sexual favors, or verbal or physical conduct of a sexual manner. This conduct directly or indirectly affects an individual's employment, unnecessarily impedes an individual's work performance, or produces a threatening, hostile, or offensive work environment. As discussed earlier, please note the following as it is crucial when identifying if someone has been sexually harassed. The harasser's conduct must be unwarranted. Victims can be men or women. Does not have to be the person harassed but offended by such conduct. The offender does not have to be the opposite gender, and the offender can be any of the following: an agent of the employer, any supervisor, a coworker, or a non-employee. These are the strategies you recommend if you have been or are being sexually harassed. Inform the harasser directly that such conduct is unwarranted and to stop. Use an employer's complaint mechanism or grievance system if available. Report to a trusted supervisor or your human resources department. Write down where, when, and what happened after it occurred to aid in future legal matters. If you suspect someone else is being sexually harassed, step in and help or report on their behalf. So how do we prevent sexual harassment? Inform employees such behavior is intolerable and inappropriate. Train employees on what behaviors are unacceptable. Inform employees of the implications of their behavior. Establish an effective complaint or grievance system. And most importantly, take immediate action when an employee claims they have been sexually harassed. These are some of the emotional and physical consequences of sexual harassment: dissociation, pregnancy, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression and flashbacks, sexually transmitted diseases, sleep disorders, self-harm or suicide, eating disorders, and substance abuse. These are some of the consequences for the harasser: automatic termination, probation, imprisonment, payment of large fines, and sex offender registry listing, which can affect future employment opportunities. These are some things to keep in mind when the thought of harassing someone comes up. And in the end, was it worth it? You could be the cause of someone taking their own life. It is important as an employee to know what retaliation is and to know your rights to report sexual harassment without punishment from management. According to the EEOC, a manager may not fire, demote, harass, or otherwise retaliate against an individual for filing a complaint of discrimination, participating in a discrimination proceeding, or otherwise opposing discrimination. This applies to the following examples stated by the EEOC: filing or being a witness in an EEO charge, complaint, investigation, or lawsuit, communicating with the supervisor or manager about employment discrimination, including harassment, answering questions during an employer investigation of alleged harassment, refusing to follow orders that would result in discrimination, resisting sexual advances or intervening to protect others, asking managers or coworkers about salary information to uncover potentially discriminatory wages, and participating in a complaint process is protected from retaliation under all circumstances. Our expectation is that this video has trained you to understand what sexual harassment is and what behavior constitutes it, know when and how to obtain help if harassed, identify forms of prevention and understand it is a key to elimination of sexual harassment, and have a clearer perception of mindset of how sexual harassment affects individuals, both offenders and victims. As part of our evaluation phase, we created a 20-question questionnaire that all participants must complete once finished with the training. All the participants must earn a score of 18 out of 20 to be able to successfully pass the training course. Any lower, and you'll have to meet with a counselor to ensure you understand the dangers of sexual harassment as well as retake the training. In conclusion, the consequences are not worth it. Step up and make the workplace a healthier and safer environment for everyone. Speak up if you've been harassed and know your rights. Speak up if you suspect someone else is being harassed because you would want them to do the same for you. Do not be an innocent bystander when you have the ability to change someone's life forever. We hope this video has informed you about what sexual harassment is, what you can do if you've been harassed, and how it can be prevented in the workplace. Thanks for watching.